Mozilla hacks the js13k competition. So, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about the js13k games competition. And there's a special category for WebXR, and it's what it sounds like. You're building some little games using JavaScript, and you have only 13k to work with. That's pretty much the basic description, and that's how it works. And it's super fun. I thought we would take a look at some of the winners from previous years. So we can do that by just going to here. The theme last year was Lost, and we had a bunch of great judges and supporters, and I actually just played this game earlier today. This was the first place winner, was a sort of side scroller, like Castlevania Metroid style side scroller. And if I set up everything right, you should be able to hear the audio as well, hopefully. And press P. Oh, here's our little robot guy who can do nothing. All he can do is really roll around. Because what we gotta do is go find all of his parts and some energy. So we'll roll around, let's get some energy. Oh, here's some more energy. Woo. This is a really impressive game for 13K, actually. It's got some really fun animation, a cool pixel style. Definitely reminds me a lot of, especially this screen right here, reminds me a lot of Metroid. My legs right there. Ah, there we go. Yay, now I can walk around. I think later in the game you get like a jetpack or something. So yeah, really, really cool. So this year, the theme is offline. Which for a second I thought that the theme itself was offline, but no, the theme is actually offline. So what you're going to do is you have 30 days to build out your application. It just launched today, which is why we are doing this stream. So there's a couple categories and a ton of prizes, a bunch of books, procedural sprite generator, WebStorm license, which by the way I highly recommend WebStorm. I have a monthly subscription because it is so awesome. Play Canvas, GitHub, CodePen, a full stack web development mini degree. That's pretty awesome. All sorts of cool stuff. There's 4 categories. We've got desktop, mobile, and server, which is Node.js multiplayer, so still JavaScript running on the server. And then our 4th category, WebXR. Now, all of these require your entire application to be smaller or equal than 13K, which is actually kilobytes, not 13,000, so it's going to be 13,312 when it's zipped up. You can have it be bigger than that. You can have separate JavaScript and everything. Don't have to worry too much about packaging. Just make sure it's all zipped up into a single zip file, and when unzipped, it has an index.html that we can run, and it should work in the browser without downloading any extra resources. You can certainly use tools that minify your JavaScript code. The main theme is offline. The deadline is the 13th of September. As far as licensing, you do have to have the rights for every asset used in your game, because the submitted games will be published and made available on the website for everyone to see. Please, new content only, and try to test it out on at least Firefox and Chrome. These days, pretty much every browser is pretty compatible, so just make sure you test it on Firefox and Chrome, but it's good to work, test it in Safari and Edge and all the others. It shouldn't be too hard to make everything work across the board. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is WebXR is slightly different category. Yes, you're making a game that runs in the browser, but you're going to be using WebXR to do it. And as a special kind of bonus, you get to use A-Frame for free, meaning you can use A-Frame, reference it directly and not worry about it counting against your 13K. So that gives you a baseline. Last year we also had A-Frame. A-Frame has certainly been improved, made faster. There's new features has been added. But we also have Babylon.js, which is another great open source web framework for building VR experiences. And so Babylon will also be counted as free, so you can use one or the other. And these are our judges, and as prizes, you not only have WebStorm licenses and play canvas, we're going to send out a bunch of cardboards, and the top 3 winners will get Oculus Go's. I'm really excited about that. I pushed to make sure we could have some real nice hardware, and I have to say that I am just in love with my Oculus Go. I use it more than all of my other VR headsets combined because it's just so convenient. I can go sit on the couch and just relax. So all you need to do to put this in your project is reference this script or this script for whenever you want, and it will not count against your 13K. You may use some A-frame components but that counts for your 13K. So, count the size. In general, I don't recommend using a component directly because they tend to do more than what you're going to need. Instead, you should open up one of these components and pull out the code that does the useful thing. Now, you're probably thinking, an 8-bit style adventure game is probably pretty easy to do, right? And an 8-bit style adventure game is pretty easy to do in only 13K. What could you realistically do in virtual reality? So what we're going to do is take a look at the winners from last year. So Lost in Cyberspace is actually a really fun game, but I can't really demonstrate it very well because it's really a co-op game with 2 players, and I'm only one. So I will show you the 2nd place winner, which I also thought was very cool. And he did everything on 13K, and in fact he wrote up, as I'll show you later, he wrote up a post-mortem showing some of the stuff he did. So we need to find our way out of the museum. Great. We're looking for Joconde. We found it. Now we need to find Starry Night in the room to our left. Let's take a look around. Starry Night, where are you? I never was very good at these first-person shooters. No. There we go. Coco Nutty is another super cute one. High score. And this one, you can do both in desktop mode and VR mode, which is super fun. So I highly recommend you come take a look at the winners from last year and see the sorts of things people did. There's like a rogue style game called Space Wrecked, Wandering Moon, where we're wandering around an asteroid belt, all sorts of fun things. So that is the competition. Let's talk about how you would actually get around to doing this. So first of all, A-Frame itself is included, but you're probably going to want some other resources. So click on the Resources tab. If you're doing a 2D game, then some of these starter kits with tiny web frameworks will help. Not obviously for A-Frame, since we've got A-Frame itself to use as your framework, but there is a bunch of little sound utilities that let you do like arcade style game, build tiny bits of music, which really makes your game stand out. Let's take a listen to this one. So that was Tiny Music, which lets you make your music in code. There's of course tons of pings and game assets if you can find a way to make it small enough, there are some 3D game assets on opengameart.org. You probably have to extract some of these and then maybe reduce the polygon count in something like Blender. Another thing I thought was really cute was the Synthesizer Library, which is pretty tiny, and they've got this whole web-based sequencer where you can build up all sorts of patterns. I do want to mention again, this is the 13K limit, which includes everything. So like suppose, let me show you this really cool demo I found earlier today. Someone did, where once you click here, it starts playing music, and it's actually making the positions of everything bounce the music, which you could totally do in 13K, except for the actual MP3 file. So if you want to do something like this, you would need to do it using one of those programmatic music things, or like a MIDI file, something like that, something much smaller. So a lot of fun, really cool utilities to get you started. Now for A-Frame itself, there's of course the A-Frame documentation, which we'll go into in a second. A-Frame Slack, there is a Slack group that you can join where lots of people are there working on their own projects, answering questions. People often show the projects they're working on. Lots of useful components, and at the A-Frame registry. And now another great way to find A-Frame components is the A-Frame blog. We've been posting, Kevin's been posting This Week in A-Frame, which just shows all the really amazing things that people have done. And almost everybody includes the source. Of course, it's JavaScript, so you just hit View Source on your web browser. So you can see how all these really cool things work. Okay, so that is it for today. I am really excited. We got some really cool entries last year, and I'm hoping we'll get some even better stuff this year. Remember, you can earn yourself an Oculus Go, which will be super awesome. And let me find those rules again. Oh, this was last year's. Definitely go take a look just for inspiration. Some amazing stuff people have done. It shows that it really is possible. And you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be playing code golf all the time. Most of these are just someone had an idea and they kept working on it and adding those little bits of polish, which can be done by just tweaking things without adding much code. Hitting the 13K won't be as hard as you think. So thank you all very much. Please reach out to me, send me an email, josh@josh.earth. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, like me in all the places. I always hear my son watching YouTube videos, and they always end with, okay, you guys, click like and subscribe. So click like and subscribe. And definitely message me on Slack if you have any other questions. I will be back in 1 week where I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything about WebXR. So if you have questions about this, please come by there and ask me anything. Thank you all, and have a good week. Bye.